Hello, this is Derek Worshell, and this is how I market properties to get the best return. Please enjoy. First, I want to start off by saying that 87% of buyers use an agent. That's not my statistic, that's Realtor.org, an organization dedicated to the statistics of real estate. So the whole point here is that you have to get your property noticed by realtors to get a buyer. The real question becomes, how do you get agents to be aware of your property? And there's really only four ways that they can do this. The first way is that the realtor finds it on the MLS. The MLS is just huge. It's dedicated just to realtors, and it's how probably 95% of realtors find properties. Second, the client finds it. When you're dealing with a buyer, the buyer is very anxious to find the perfect property. They're involved in the search. So getting the client to see your property is huge, and they usually do this via online or through signage around the property. Thirdly, the seller tells the buyer's agent's realtor. This means me as a seller's agent goes around to my buyer realtors who are representing buyers, and I tell them about the property. This will generate word of mouth, and this usually gets them through the door. The fourth way is that the seller agent gets the property to their client. So that means that I would contact the client directly, and the client tells their realtor. This is a lesser known approach, but it does happen. This usually happens through things like open houses where the client shows up and the seller agent, namely me, would be there talking to them. So how do I go about notifying a realtor of a property, seeing that 87% of realtors, of clients, use a realtor? Well, one we already talked about is the MLS. The second is that I call a huge database of realtors and let them know. I also have e-flyers for over 300 active agents that I send out with statistics to see who's opening the flyers. I email a lot of different people when your property comes on the market. So automatically you're getting the e-flyer blasts and individual emails. The other ones are social media. I post your property at least 3 times a week to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to all sorts of different kinds of social media outlets where people are going to see your property, and the people that are on my news feeds are always people who represent buyers and sellers. So the audience seeing them is huge. The other one is print media. So we will go and get you a flyer. We'll hand out the flyers. The next one is the broker's tour. We bring a lot of different high-powered brokers to your property, and they view the property, and they give their feedback and their insight, and we use that to tweak the property to have realtors recommend the property to their clients. We also have in-office meetings. At Keller Williams, we are the largest brokerage in Whatcom County. We have over 200 agents, so obviously talking word of mouth just in the office is huge. And lastly, events. There's a lot of different realtor events that we all go to, and getting that word of mouth out is huge. So those are the different ways that I notify a realtor to get them to the property. Now, how do I notify a client? Well, clients generally go to online websites, and we have a syndication service that goes out to over 1,000 different websites, from everything from Zillow to Trulia to the lesser known ones, where people will look at your property and call their realtor and say, hey, I like this property, let's put it on the view list. Again, with social media, all sorts of people with social media ads, they want to find their property, they're actively searching, you're not cold calling them, they want to find properties. So social media is huge. Open houses, where we invite the neighborhood, is very big. A lot of times people in the neighborhood want their friends and family to move close to them, so letting them know that the property is available and letting the neighborhood know, big thing. Also, just open houses in general. Clients usually come through, they want to see the house. Realtors recommend them to go do this to be an active part of the search. Door-to-door knocking, very big. When you start that conversation with the neighbors about, hey, this property is on the market, and do you know of anybody that wants to come to this neighborhood? Sometimes they just say, yeah, actually I do. Let me contact my friend. Search engine optimization, huge money being spent on this, on getting my website and the ads of my website up on the top rankings of Google. Now, we can do this a couple ways. I can put out articles and press releases onto the web and have them float to the top using keyword analysis. I can advertise on my website, which people regularly see. We can also put it in Google AdWords, so when people type in Columbia neighborhood, your property pops up. Neighborhood farming. This is another technique of going around the neighborhood and reminding people, hey, keep us in mind. Keep us in mind. This property is for sale. People want to see how properties do in their neighborhood. So keeping your property on the top of their mind will help, because they never know when they're going to run into someone. Again, there's print media, postcards, such of that nature, signage, which is pretty much having a sign placed right where everyone can see it. There's a lot of calls from people just walking around in the neighborhood, walking their children, taking a bike ride. They want to know the price. They want to know if they can have a look. That's also very huge. And then lastly is word of mouth. So what that boils down to is 16 different channels of communicating to either the client or the realtor. And you ask, why so much? It's because you want to get it all back to the realtor. You want the client to go back to the buyer's realtor and say, hey, let's put an offer in. You want the realtor to go to the client and say, hey, I like this house, we should go view it. So you have 16 different channels there, some cross connection as well as what you're doing to attract both. And you're really trying to get that realtor engaged in your property. And that is really the key to a successful sell, is getting that realtor excited and having them convey a positive message to their clients. Now, here are a few stats of how I go about getting an offer for your listing. One is that I spend over $12,000 annually for online rankings. That's the search engine optimization. The next is an open house every 6 weeks. So we remind people, hey, come by, see it again, get the neighborhood involved. I also have an exclusive database of 350 agents and their personal email accounts. And I send out e-flyers to make sure that they're aware, and I have statistics after we send out an email campaign to see how effective it was and how many people opened it, and then of course if people have called back. I've had this work a number of times to sell listings. Professional photos come with each listing. It's important to represent the photos because they say 1,000 words about the property. Door knocking in the neighborhood with door hangers. We let people know, hey, there's a property for sale in your neighborhood. You should come check it out. See if you want your friends or family there. We blog about your property, which means we put online articles and we circulate them around the internet to make sure that people are aware. So when they type in Columbia neighborhood, that article pops up about your house. We also blog on Craigslist. So when people look at Craigslist, they see your house with wonderful pictures. We do open houses to the public, just letting people come in on a nice Sunday evening, come in, view the property. We tell them all the highlights about it. Brokers tours, we mentioned, getting key heavy hitters in there to look at the property, give their advice, because their advice is what they're going to tell their clients. So you want to tailor the property to make sure that realtors like the house. Again, I syndicate over 100 to 1,000 different websites to reach clients who are actively searching. I call the agents, which is getting that word of mouth going, because the agents want to find their client a home just as bad as the clients want to find them a home. Of course, we put it on the MLS. Something that I'm really proud of is the 3D virtual tour for luxury listings. You can go to Matterport, Matterport.com, and see how great we can 3D image your property and your listing. We have custom flyers that we make, custom signage, and frequent social media postings. So people come, they sit down, they're part of my database online for LinkedIn or Facebook, and they see our posts. And they post, hey, great house, can I come see it? And this has been huge because the people on my news feed are people in the market, such as realtors, mortgage lenders, home inspectors, and when they see a house, they usually want to see it. Or sorry, when they see a new listing, they usually want to see it. So this is just kind of a brief overview of how to market a property. Obviously, it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of engineering, and then of course you get down to the negotiation process and the paperwork, which is totally different. But that's a brief overview. I know there's a lot more to it, but that's it in a nutshell. So thank you very much. If you have any questions or concerns or just want some free consultations, give me a ring. My information is here. Thank you and have a great day.